Hi, Steve here. In chapter 90 of the book of Enoch, Enoch was given the vision of all the leaders who were supposed to shepherd the people of Israel. And in this vision of sheep and bulls, Enoch was shown the prophets were calling out to the people, but they wouldn't listen to them. And their eyes were exceedingly blinded, he says. He talks about the Lord coming to judge them and setting up his throne. He talks about how the angels are brought forth and judged, and how they're cast down into an abyss full of fire and flaming, full of pillars of fire. It must have been a lot to take in. And in the last two verses of chapter 90, Enoch said, "Then I wept with a great weeping, and my tears stayed not, till I could no longer endure it. When I saw, they flowed on account of what I had seen. For everything shall come and be fulfilled, and all the deeds of men in their order were shown to me. On that night I remembered the first dream, and because of it I wept and was troubled because I had seen that vision." Enoch realized that everything will happen and be fulfilled. Chapter 91. "And now, my son Methuselah, call to me all your brothers, and gather together to me all the sons of your mother. For the word calls me, and the Spirit is poured out upon me, that I may show you everything that shall befall you forever." And thereupon Methuselah went and summoned to him all his brothers and assembled his relatives. And he spoke unto all the children of righteousness and said, "Hear, sons of Enoch, all the words of your father, and hearken aright to the voice of my mouth. For I exhort you and say unto you, beloved, love uprightness and walk in it. And don't draw near to uprightness with a double heart, and associate not with those of a double heart, but walk in righteousness, my sons, and it shall guide you on good paths, and righteousness will be your companion." So Enoch is speaking here to those who follow after God and do righteousness in his family. He's telling them not to draw near being righteous and then compromise or be double-minded. "For I know that violence must increase on the earth, and a great chastisement be executed on the earth, and all unrighteousness come to an end. Yes, it will be cut off from its roots, and its whole structure will be destroyed. And unrighteousness will again be consummated on the earth, and all the deeds of unrighteousness and of violence and transgression will prevail in a twofold degree." A twofold degree. This is what's coming to our world in these last days. "And when sin and unrighteousness and blasphemy and violence and all kinds of deeds increase, and apostasy and transgression and uncleanness increase, a great chastisement shall come from heaven upon all these, and the Holy Lord will come forth with wrath and chastisement to execute judgment on earth." Wow. This is exactly what we read in 2 Timothy chapter 3, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3, Revelation 19, 11 through 16. And look at this next verse in the book of Enoch. "In those days violence shall be cut off from its roots, and the roots of unrighteousness together with deceit, and they shall be destroyed from under heaven. And all the idols of the heathen shall be abandoned, and the temples burned with fire, and they shall remove them from the whole earth. And they, the heathen, shall be cast into the judgment of fire, and shall perish in wrath and in grievous judgment forever." Revelation 20:15 says, "Anyone whose name was not found written in the book of life was hurled into the lake of fire." Here Enoch is talking about the very end, when God will bring all things to its final conclusion. Chapter 106 reveals that Enoch was not only shown about the flood that would destroy the earth, but he was also shown about the final judgment. The first part of the chapter, 106, talks about the concern that Methuselah's son Lamech had over the birth of his son Noah because of his appearance and how strange looking he was. So Lamech asked his dad to please speak to his grandfather Enoch about what he saw. It says, "When Noah was born, the color of his body was whiter than snow and redder than the bloom of a rose. His hair was whiter than white wool, and his eyes were like the rays of the sun. And when he opened his eyes, when he was first born, it lit up the whole house. And he opened his mouth and blessed the Lord of heaven. It scared Lamech so bad that he ran to his dad and asked him to go speak to Enoch to find out what was happening. He thought he looked more like an angel than his offspring. So this is what Enoch told Methuselah in chapter 106. And I, Enoch, answered and said unto him, The Lord will do a new thing on the earth, and this I have already seen in a vision, and make known to you that in the generation of my father Jared, some of the angels of heaven transgressed the word of the Lord. And behold, they commit sin and transgress the law, and have united themselves with women, and commit sin with them, and have married some of them, and have begot children by them. And they shall produce on the earth giants, not according to the Spirit, but according to the flesh. And there shall be a great punishment on the earth, and the earth shall be cleansed from all impurity. Yes, there shall come a great destruction over the whole earth, and there shall be a deluge and a great destruction for 1 year. And this son who has been born unto you shall be left on the earth, and his 3 children shall be saved with him, when all mankind that are on the earth shall die. He and his sons shall be saved. And now make known to your son Lamech that he who has been born is in truth his son, and call his name Noah, for he shall be left to you, and he and his son shall be saved from the destruction which shall come upon the earth on account of all the sin and all the unrighteousness which shall be consummated on the earth in his days. That's the flood. He's talking and describing the flood exactly as it happened. Now listen to what Enoch says next. And after that, there shall be still more unrighteousness than that which was first consummated on the earth. For I know the mysteries of the holy ones, for he, the Lord, has showed me and informed me, and I have read them in the heavenly tablets. Enoch knows what the angels have planned, and he knows what God is going to do in the very end of the last days. Jude 6 says, the angels who didn't keep their position of authority but deserted their own home. Where was their home? Heaven. The Lord has kept them in eternal chains in the underworld until the judgment of the great day. In chapter 65, Noah cries out to Enoch, his grandfather, for answers to what he sees. And Noah said 3 times with an embittered voice, Hear me, hear me, hear me. And I said unto him, Tell me what it is that's falling out on the earth, that the earth is in such evil plight and shaken, lest perchance I shall perish with it. And thereupon there was a great commotion on the earth, and a voice was heard from heaven, and I fell on my face. And Enoch my grandfather came and stood by me, and said to me, Why have you cried out unto me with a bitter cry and weeping? And a command has gone forth from the presence of the Lord concerning those who dwell on the earth, that their ruin is accomplished, because they have learned all the secrets of the angels, and all the violence of the Satans, and all their powers, the most secret ones, and all the power of those who practice sorcery, and the power of witchcraft, and the power of those who make molten images, for the whole earth, and how silver is produced from the dust of the earth, and how soft metal originates in the earth. For lead and tin are not produced from the earth like the first. It is a fountain that produces them, and an angel stands therein, and that angel is preeminent. This is one of the reasons that I believe Satan took out, through the Catholic Church, about 500 years ago, the Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch reveals so much about the fallen angels. It tells us they're the ones who taught men the secret and hidden things that is giving these Luciferians, these Satan worshipers, who are the global leaders. Remember, the devil is the god of this world right now. And after that, my grandfather Enoch took hold of me by my hand and raised me up and said to me, Go, for I have asked the Lord of spirits as touching this commotion on the earth. And he said to me, Because of their unrighteousness, Their judgment has been determined upon, and shall not be withheld by me forever, because of the sorceries which they have searched out and learned. The earth and those who dwell upon it shall be destroyed. And these, he's referring to the fallen angels now, these, they have no place of repentance forever, because they have shown them what was hidden, and they are the damned. But as for you, my son, the Lord of spirits knows that you are pure and guiltless of this reproach concerning the secrets. And he has destined your name to be among the holy, and will preserve you among those who dwell on the earth, and has destined your righteous seed both for kingship and for great honors. And from your seed shall proceed a fountain of the righteous and holy, without number forever. All the families of the earth came from Noah's sons. Genesis 6:5-8 says, the Lord saw that humanity had become thoroughly evil on the earth, and that every idea their minds thought up was always completely evil. Sounds like today. The Lord regretted making human beings on the earth, and he was heartbroken. So the Lord said, I will wipe off of the land the human race that I've created, from human beings to livestock, to the crawling things, to the birds in the skies, because I regret I ever made them. But as for Noah, the Lord approved of him. We are in the last days right now. The sorceries have been searched out and learned, and are again being practiced. Let me remind you what Enoch said in chapter 91, and he was describing our generation. And unrighteousness shall again be consummated on the earth, and all the deeds of unrighteousness and of violence and transgression shall prevail in a twofold degree. And when sin and unrighteousness and blasphemy and violence in all kinds of deeds increase, and apostasy and transgression and uncleanness increase, a great chastisement shall come from heaven upon all these, and the Holy Lord will come forth with wrath and chastisement to execute judgment on earth. Only this time when God puts an end to all sin, it will be the final time. He already provided the way for men to become the sons of God again through his Son. So those who choose to reject Yeshua Messiah and follow Satan will be deserving of the punishment they receive. Think about it.